The Galactic Empire had conquered thousands of worlds across the stars. No planet had ever resisted them for long. No species had ever survived their arrival. They were powerful, they were unstoppable, and they believed they were the rulers of the galaxy. Far beyond Earth in the cold darkness of space, their massive fleet moved silently. Hundreds of warships glowing with energy. Weapons ready, soldiers waiting. Their target was a small blue planet called Earth. To them, Earth looked weak. Their scanners showed no advanced space fleet, no strong defenses in orbit, no sign of a galactic-level civilization. Just humans, a species still divided, still fighting among themselves, still living on one planet. The Empire leaders watched the data with calm confidence. One of the commanders spoke. He said this planet will fall in hours. Another said they may not even resist. They will surrender the moment they see our fleet. The Emperor did not speak for a long time. Then he gave a simple command. Prepare for invasion. The decision was made. Earth would become another colony, another world under their control. The fleet changed course and moved toward Earth. Faster than light, cutting through space like a silent storm. Days passed. As they got closer, their sensors began to scan deeper into the planet. They saw cities. They saw oceans. They saw billions of humans living their lives. But something felt strange. There was no panic, no signs of fear, no global emergency. The humans were not running. They were not hiding. They were waiting. The commanders noticed this, but they ignored it. They believed humans were simply unaware, or too weak to understand what was coming. The fleet entered the outer edge of the solar system. Planets passed by. Asteroids moved slowly in the dark. Everything looked normal. But again, something felt wrong. Some signals were hidden. Some movements could not be explained. The Empire's ships detected energy readings. Very small, very controlled, almost like someone was watching them. One officer reported it, but the commander dismissed it. He said primitive species cannot hide from us. Continue forward. The fleet moved closer to Earth. Now the blue planet was clearly visible, bright and calm, clouds moving slowly, oceans shining under the light. It looked peaceful, too peaceful. Inside the command ship, the Emperor finally stood up. He looked at Earth for a long moment. Then he said, "This planet will belong to us." Orders were given. Attack positions ready. Weapons systems charged. Communication channels prepared. The Empire would give one chance. A simple message. Surrender or be destroyed. Their ships moved into formation, surrounding the planet from all sides. Everything was ready, but far below on Earth, deep under oceans, hidden inside mountains, and far beyond human eyes, something else was already moving. Systems were waking up. Old systems. Powerful systems. Humanity was not surprised. They had seen the signs long ago. They had prepared in silence. And now, as the Empire fleet entered orbit, Earth did not panic. Earth did not run. Earth waited, because this was not the beginning of the invasion. This was the moment humanity had been preparing for, and the Empire still believed. This would be their easiest victory. The Empire fleet moved closer to Earth. Their ships formed a perfect circle around the planet. Dark shadows covering the sky, silent and powerful. From above, Earth looked calm. Clouds moved slowly. Oceans shined under sunlight. Cities continued their normal life. But this calm was not real. Deep under the oceans, massive hidden structures began to wake up. Coal machines powered on after years of silence. Inside mountains, doors that had never been opened slowly moved, revealing weapons no one had ever seen. Far below the ground, command centers lit up one by one, screens filled with data, voices calm and focused. Humanity was not surprised. They had seen the signals long before the Empire arrived. Strange movements in space, unknown energy patterns. Something was coming, and they had prepared, not in fear, but in silence. Above Earth, the Empire command ship sent a message. Their signal traveled across the planet, into every system, every network, every device. The message was simple: surrender or be destroyed. For a moment, there was silence. The Empire commanders waited, confident and relaxed. They expected panic. They expected chaos. They expected a quick surrender. But none of that happened. There was no reply. No leader spoke. No signal returned. Only silence. One officer looked confused. He said, "Why are they not responding?" Another said, "Maybe they are afraid." The commander smiled. He said, "They are weak. They do not understand what is happening. Prepare the first strike." But before the order could be completed, something changed. Small signals began to appear across their sensors. Very faint, almost invisible. Then more signals appeared, spreading across the planet. From oceans, from land, from places that should have been empty. The officers watched carefully. The signals were growing. Not random, not weak. They were controlled. The commander frowned. He said, "What is this?" No one answered. Then suddenly, Earth spoke, not with words, but with action. From deep under the ocean, a bright flash of light shot into the sky. Then another, and another. Hundreds of lights rising fast. The Empire ships reacted too late. The first explosion hit. A massive warship on the outer line was destroyed instantly. Its shields broken before they could activate. Fire spread across space. Debris floating in silence. Shock filled the command ship. This was impossible. The Empire had never been attacked first. Another explosion. Then another. Earth was firing back. Hidden weapons were launching from everywhere. From a sea. From the ground. From locations the Empire could not track. Their formation broke. Ships moved in confusion. Defense systems activated too late. The commander shouted orders. Return fire. Destroy all targets. But the problem was clear. They could not see all the targets. Earth was attacking from the shadows. Inside the command ship, the Emperor watched silently. His expression changed for the first time. This was not a weak planet. This was something else. Below them, humanity was fully awake now. Missile systems locked targets. Defense grids connected across the world. Every nation working as one. There was no panic. Only purpose. Only control. This was not chaos. This was preparation. Another Empire ship exploded. Then another. The officers were no longer calm. One of them whispered. This was not supposed to happen. The commander tried to regain control. He said, "They are still primitive. We will crush them." But his voice was no longer strong. Because deep inside, he understood the truth. They were not fighting an unprepared world. They were fighting a species that had been waiting for this exact moment. And now, as more hidden weapons rose from Earth, and more Empire ships fell from the sky, one terrifying thought spread across the fleet. The Empire had not started this war. They had walked straight into it. The first wave of destruction spread across the Empire fleet. Burning ships drifted in silence. Pieces of metal floated into the dark. Signals of lost crews faded one by one. The Empire had never faced this before. Their formations were broken. Their control shaken. Their confidence cracked. Inside the command ship, alarms continued to rise. Officers moved quickly. Voices no longer calm. Screens filled with warnings. Unknown weapons detected. Multiple attack points active. Enemy strategy unpredictable. The commander tried to take control. He ordered all ships to regroup, to form defensive lines, to activate full shields. But the problem was clear. They still could not see everything. Earth was hiding its strength. Another attack came without warning. This time from above. Small objects appeared in space. Too small to be ships. Too fast to track. Before the Empire could react, they exploded. Bright flashes of energy hit multiple ships at once. Shields collapsed. Systems failed. These were not simple weapons. They were precise. They were planned. They were designed to break the Empire defense. Fear began to spread quietly among the officers. One of them spoke in a low voice. "These humans are not fighting like primitives." Another answered, "They are fighting like us." The commander remained silent for a moment. Then he gave a new order. Scan the entire planet. Find every hidden system. Destroy everything. The Empire's ships adjusted. Powerful scanners activated. Waves of energy passed over Earth. But again, something strange happened. Many signals disappeared. Others changed location. Some became invisible. It was like the planet itself was hiding. Below on Earth, the command centers were fully active now. Leaders from all nations were connected. Data moved faster than ever. Decisions were made in seconds. This was not one country. This was not one army. This was humanity as one. They had trained for this. They had built systems no one outside Earth could detect. And now those systems were in full control. Another command was given. Phase 2 began. High above the atmosphere, new weapons activated. Massive structures that had been hidden for years revealed themselves. They moved into position silently. The Empire's sensors detected them too late. Before they could react, a powerful wave of energy hit the fleet. It was not an explosion. It was something different. A pulse. Ships lost power for a moment. Systems went dark. Communication broke. For a few seconds, the Empire was blind. And in those few seconds, Earth attacked again. Missiles and energy strikes hit the fleet from every direction, targeting weak points, destroying key ships. The damage was growing fast. Inside the command ship, chaos was rising. Officers were no longer hiding their fear. One of them said, "This is impossible." Another said, "We are losing ships too quickly." The commander felt it too. This was not a simple battle. This was something much bigger. He looked at the data again. Patterns appeared. Strategies revealed. Movements calculated. Then he understood something that made his mind go cold. This was not random. This was planned. Every move, every attack, every delay, it was all designed. Humanity was not reacting. Humanity was controlling the battle. He looked at the Emperor. For the first time, there was doubt in his voice. He said, "This is not a primitive species." The Emperor did not answer immediately. His eyes remained fixed on the screen, watching another ship fall, watching another system fail. Then slowly he spoke. "No, this is something else." Below them, Earth continued to fight with calm precision. No panic, no wasted movement. Every action had a purpose. Every second mattered. And as the Empire fleet struggled to recover, another terrifying truth began to grow. The humans were not showing everything yet. This was only the beginning. And the worst part was still hidden, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The Empire fleet was no longer in control. Their perfect formation had turned into scattered groups. Ships moved without coordination. Commands were delayed. Systems struggled to keep up. The silence of space was now filled with destruction. Burning ships drifted slowly. Damaged vessels tried to escape the battlefield. Signals of distress echoed across the fleet. Inside the command ship, the atmosphere had changed completely. No one was calm anymore. Every officer was focused on survival. Every screen showed loss after loss. The commander stood still, watching everything unfold. He had seen many wars. He had led many victories. But this was different. This was not just resistance. This was domination. Earth was not defending. Earth was attacking. Another report came in. Multiple ships destroyed in seconds. Unknown weapon signature detected again. The commander closed his eyes for a brief moment. Then he gave a new order. All ships switched to full combat mode. No more holding back. Use everything. The Empire fleet responded. Massive weapons charged. Energy built up across the ships. The darkness of space lit with power. Then they fired. Huge beams of energy shot toward Earth, aimed at cities, at oceans, at anything that moved. For a moment, it looked like the Empire had regained control. Explosions covered parts of the atmosphere. Fire spread across the sky. Shock waves moved through the clouds. But then, something unexpected happened. The attacks did not reach their targets. Invisible shields activated around key areas. Massive barriers absorbed the energy, redirected it back into space. The Empire weapons were useless. Shock spread again across the command ship. One officer whispered, "They are protecting the entire planet." Another said, "This level of defense is not possible." But it was real. Earth had prepared for this too. Below the surface, hidden generators worked at full power. Energy flowed through networks that covered the planet. Systems designed for one purpose: to survive and to fight back. The commander felt something he had never felt before: uncertainty. He looked at the Emperor, but this time even the Emperor had no immediate answer. Another wave of signals appeared on the screens. But these were different: larger, stronger, more dangerous. They were not coming from Earth. They were coming from space. Far behind the Empire fleet, something new had arrived. The officers turned their attention to the new data. Unknown objects detected. Multiple large signatures approaching fast. The commander felt his heart slow down. This was not part of the plan. These were not Empire ships. Before anyone could react, the objects revealed themselves. Massive human warships, hidden until now, silent until this moment. They moved into position with perfect timing, cutting off the Empire's escape routes. The fleet was surrounded. Complete silence filled the command ship. No one spoke. No one moved. The truth was clear now. This was never an invasion. This was a trap. Earth had allowed the Empire to come closer, had waited for the perfect moment, had hidden its strongest weapons. And now, there was no escape. The human ships activated their weapons. Energy built up across their surfaces, far more advanced than anything the Empire had expected. The commander tried to respond. He ordered retreat, but it was too late. The path was already closed. The Emperor finally spoke, his voice calm but heavy. We have underestimated them, below and above. From every direction, humanity was now fully revealed. No longer hidden, no longer silent. They moved as one. Ground, sea, sky, space, all connected, all focused. Another command was given from Earth. Final phase began. The human fleet fired. A wave of energy unlike anything before moved through the Empire ships, cutting through shields, breaking systems, destroying entire vessels in seconds. The Empire fleet was collapsing, not slowly, but completely. And as the commander watched everything fall apart, one final thought filled his mind. They were never hunting a weak planet. They had walked into the territory of something far more dangerous, something patient, something prepared, something unstoppable. And now, there was no way out. The Empire fleet was breaking apart. Ships that once ruled the galaxy were now drifting without control. Engines failed, weapons silent, crews lost in the darkness. The battlefield had changed completely. This was no longer a fight for victory. This was a fight to survive. Inside the command ship, the silence felt heavy. No one spoke for a long time. Only the sound of failing systems filled the air. The commander stared at the main screen. One by one, red signals appeared. Each signal a lost ship. Each signal a lost crew. He had seen defeat before, but never like this. Never so fast. Never so complete. One officer finally spoke, his voice low and shaken. "We're losing everything." Another said, "Our weapons are not effective. Our scans are failing. We cannot predict their moves." The commander did not answer immediately. He was thinking, not about the battle, but about the truth. Something was very wrong. He looked at the data again, at the patterns, at the movements of human forces. Then slowly he understood. This was not just preparation. This was evolution. Humans had studied war for centuries. They had fought among themselves, learned from every mistake, adapted to every new threat. And now, they were using all of that knowledge together. The Empire had power, but humans had experience, and experience was winning. Another report came in. Human forces are adapting to our tactics in real time. The commander closed his eyes. This confirmed everything. They were learning during the battle, changing strategies, predicting moves, staying one step ahead. This was not normal. This was something dangerous. He looked toward the Emperor. For the first time, he spoke with complete honesty. "We cannot win this." The words stayed in the air. No one reacted, because deep inside, everyone already knew. The Emperor remained silent for a long moment, his eyes fixed on the destruction outside. Another Empire ship exploded in the distance, its light fading slowly. Then he spoke, his voice calm but different. "Send a signal." The officers looked at him, confused. He continued, "Send a message to all remaining ships. Order full retreat." The commander hesitated. This had never happened before. The Empire did not retreat. The Empire conquered. But now, there was no other choice. The signal was sent. Across the battlefield. Through broken communication lines. To every ship still alive. Retreat. Some ships tried to move. Engines struggling. Systems damaged. But even retreat was not easy. Human forces were everywhere. Blocking paths. Cutting off escape. Controlling the space around Earth. This was not just victory. This was control. Below on Earth, the command centers watched everything. They saw the retreat signals. They saw the movement of enemy ships. But they did not celebrate. They stayed focused. Because the war was not over yet. Another command was given. Do not let them escape easily. Human ships moved again. Fast. Precise. Unstoppable. They targeted key ships. They disabled engines. They forced the Empire fleet into smaller groups. Panic spread among the remaining Empire forces. Their formation was gone. Their power reduced. Their confidence destroyed. Inside the command ship, the commander felt the weight of failure. He had led this mission. He had believed in easy victory. And now, he was watching the Empire fall back. Defeated. He looked at Earth one more time. The blue planet still calm. Still shining. But now he understood the truth. This planet was not weak. It was waiting. Waiting for the right enemy. Waiting for the right moment. And the Empire had given them both. The Emperor stood up slowly. His final words inside the command ship were quiet. This is not the end, but it is a warning. The commander understood what he meant. If they survived, if they escaped, the galaxy would hear about this. They would know what humanity had become. Not a new species, not a simple world, but something far more dangerous. Something that could not be underestimated. Something that could fight back and win as the damaged fleet tried to escape the battlefield. One truth became clear to every surviving soldier. They had not faced a weak planet. They had faced warriors. And those warriors were still holding back, waiting for anyone foolish enough to try again. The battlefield slowly became quiet. Where thousands of ships once moved with power, now only broken pieces remained. Metal drifted in silence. Faint lights flickered and died. The cold darkness of space returned again. The Empire fleet was gone. Some ships had escaped. Many had been destroyed. None had won. Far above Earth, the last human warships stayed in position. They did not chase endlessly. They did not celebrate loudly. They simply watched, waiting, observing, making sure the threat was truly gone. Below on Earth, the command centers remained active. No one relaxed yet. No one believed the danger had fully passed. Because humanity had learned one thing long ago. War does not end when the enemy runs. War ends when the enemy cannot return. Data continued to move across every system. Scans reached far into space, tracking the retreating Empire ships. They were leaving fast, but they were also sending signals. Messages traveling across the galaxy, warning others, telling the truth. Earth was not weak. Earth was not alone. Earth was ready. Inside one of the damaged Empire ships, the commander stood silently. The battle was over, but the impact remained. His mind replayed every moment. The first attack, the hidden weapons, the perfect coordination, the control. He realized something that changed everything. This was not just a victory for humans. This was a message to the entire galaxy. Do not come here. Do not try to conquer. Do not think this planet is easy. He looked at the stars outside. For the first time, they did not feel like his territory. They felt uncertain, dangerous, unknown. The Emperor stood beside him. We underestimated them. His voice was calm but heavy. The commander answered quietly, "Yes, and we paid the price." The Emperor continued, "This species is different. They do not expand like others. They do not show their power. They wait. They prepare. And when the moment comes, they strike without fear." The commander understood now. This was why the battle felt impossible. Because humanity had not rushed. They had not acted in panic. They had planned everything. Years, maybe decades, waiting for an enemy strong enough. And the Empire had become that enemy. Far away from Earth, the remaining ships jumped into deep space, escaping the system. But they carried something more powerful than weapons. They carried fear and truth. Back on Earth, something unexpected happened. The world did not celebrate with chaos. There were no loud victories, no uncontrolled joy. Instead, there was silence, a quiet understanding. Humanity had just faced something beyond their world, and they had survived, not by luck, but by design. Leaders across the planet spoke to each other, not about victory, but about the future. They knew this was only the beginning. If one empire could come, others could follow, stronger, smarter, more prepared, and humanity would need to be ready again. The hidden systems did not shut down. The fleets did not disappear. Everything stayed active, because Earth would never be unprepared again. High above the planet, one final command moved through every human system. Stay ready. The message was simple, but powerful. The stars above Earth looked the same as always. Silent, endless, mysterious. But now there was a difference. Somewhere out there, across distant galaxies, stories were spreading about a small blue planet. A planet that did not fall. A planet that fought back. A planet that turned an invasion into a warning. And that warning echoed across the universe. The Galactic Empire came to conquer Earth. But instead, they told the galaxy the truth. Never underestimate humanity.